Okay, so this is my first time doing a recording on here. So bear with me, it might be a little bit rough. But the first thing is the article that I chose is Making Philanthropy a Habit by Aaron Cook. Then also I put my edited version on the left and the original on the right in a Word document. I also had to edit on a physical copy. I edit best that way because I can see it and hold it and visibly see the marks that I'm making. It's just easier for me that way, but I took those edits that I did on the physical copy and I made them on the left-hand side. I can also turn in the paper that I made the physical copies on if you want me to. So, in fact, I probably will, just so you have it, or I can take a picture of it and send it to you. So the first thing that I did was I changed around some of the wording. The very first sentence he had was, "You want to make a difference in your community and maybe communities beyond your own." That seems kind of aggressive, and maybe that's his voice, but I thought that changing it to a question over here would be a little bit more appealing to the audience, kind of draw them in. Asking them a question brings them to want to answer it. So by having the question, the first sentence, instead of a kind of harsh statement, I think it kind of makes the article a little bit more easy to read, and it draws you in a little bit more. It's a little more interesting in that way. So that first paragraph that I edited, I took out quite a bit and I reworded some things. So this right here, I changed to, "You may already have several nonprofits and charities you support, but maybe you don't know how to make time to get involved." So I just condensed it and switched around the words a little bit, because he really likes to play with like scenarios and like, how do you get involved and how do you make time for philanthropy in your life? But I think it can just be like a little bit more cohesive and easier to read, so that's why I changed that. Then the very next sentence is, "You volunteered here and there, but you want to get involved and become a staple in the organization. How do you decide where to start and how to stay involved?" Okay, so I changed this and I took that entire sentence out. It's unnecessary in that paragraph, and leaving it out would make it flow a lot better. So then the next sentence is, "How do you decide where to start and how to stay involved?" That was fine. The next one was, "The answer is around you." So I took out the period and I added a dash because it's continuing the same thought and the period stops the thought. So adding a dash is more of a continuation of that thought. Then all of these places may, well, actually I changed that entire sentence to make it a little bit shorter because it was just long and drawn out and kind of repetitive. So I changed it to, if you want to make philanthropy a habit, you may already be participating in work, religion, or other activities regularly. By combining philanthropy with these things, it will become a habit as well. So I took out a lot of unnecessary things, and I just combined it into one sentence. So I thought that that worked really well. So the next one, I just went ahead and I took out the very first sentence. Having it there does not add anything to the paragraph, and it doesn't take away anything by taking it away. So you still get the main point by leaving it out. So it just starts with, whether you work in a large corporation or smaller venue, your place of work more than likely has a charity it supports or philanthropy it works with. So I left that. But I took out A before philanthropy there. I took out the A, and see, like, there was a green line under it in the Word document, and I just took it out and the green line went away. So that worked. Then I took out and look after ask. Ask and look around your office to find out how you can get involved. So I took out and because it was unnecessary and it kind of broke up the thought, made it a little hard to read. So that was one of the places that I stumbled through whenever I was reading it out loud. So then the rest of this paragraph, basically, I changed just some wording. I took out a couple words, like whenever it says be less discreet, or be more discreet, sorry. Be more discreet right here. I just changed it to less time consuming. I feel like discreet is a little bit hard to understand and grasp, but less time consuming, people can understand a little bit better, so that's why I changed that. And then there was a place that I added a comma, and it was more discreet than others, so I added a comma, like a collection bucket, can drive, or in-house silent auction. Yeah, I just added that comma there to break it up. So there was another scenario down here where it said, say your workplace lacks a philanthropic commitment, you may find it in your best interest to start one for your workplace. Score some brownie points with your boss. I condensed that into one sentence, and by getting rid of the scenario and keeping it consistent with my edit in the beginning. If your workplace lacks a philanthropic commitment, you may want to start one for your workplace and score some brownie points with your boss. Then I took out that last sentence, only take on that task if you can manage it with your other duties. That doesn't add anything, so, I took it out. It's kind of irrelevant to the rest of the paragraph. Then that last sentence right here, there are several perks to having an active philanthropic presence at your workplace. That does not really go with that last paragraph, so I broke it up and I added spaces between it before the list that he wrote. Also, workplace is hyperlinked, and it takes me to the Huffington Post, and this is also a list, and reading through it, there are some things that really match up with his list, where it is a longer list than his, because his is very short, because it's not the main point of his article. Some things are really basically the same in here, so I can send you the link to that too. But that's the article that I looked at for research on his topic, and it was really good to read. Kind of gave me more of an insight into what he was thinking and looking at whenever he was writing this. So one thing that I did to the list was he had it bolded, but in the heading that it was in before, you could not tell at all that it was bolded, and the headlines really needed something else to stand out. Otherwise, it just looked kind of like just this block, and not really a headline or a subhead for his article or for the list. So I went ahead and I italicized it too to break it up. That's not the typical format, however you can do it. And I think it needed it to see the difference, because if it was just bold, you could hardly see it. Like, you can hardly see that workplace is hyperlinked until you scroll over it. So that's what it would have looked like, just bolded. But I think it needed something else there. So on the second point, I changed it just a little bit. Your organization may already have a certain feel to it. There on the right side, that's what he had, and I just changed it to atmosphere. May have a certain atmosphere. That was just trying to condense the words and make it a little bit more easy to read. Then okay. Then I took out by right here, and I changed it to adding, so I capitalized the A in adding. Adding a philanthropic element to the workplace could boost morale and even create a new identity for the company. So I also took out the comma before could right there. There's a comma, but I took it out. That was just not needed. Unnecessary comma. Then, okay, going on to the third point. Okay. So the thing that I changed here is by volunteering and giving back to the community shows that your business is not here to just make money, but cares about the surrounding community it's located in. I took out it's located in because it's redundant. The surrounding community, obviously it's the surrounding community of the organization, and obviously it's located in that community, so I took that out. The next paragraph he had, and you can see it's just one giant block, like on the right side. It's pretty hard to read. So like this is a new paragraph. That's what I changed. But that entire paragraph from of course to philanthropy right here, that's one paragraph. That is unnecessary and it does not add anything to the article. It feels a little random being put right there. Of course, every workplace is different. Some companies have the time, money, and labor power to have an impressive philanthropic presence. Others do not. Do your research in your workplace environment to find opportunities for philanthropy. I feel like that could have been a point or something like that if he had done a little bit more research on how small businesses do it. Like if he had found the article that I found, and there was like a point about small businesses, he could have made another point, but I just feel like it's unnecessary to have that one in there. So I just went ahead and I took it out because it doesn't really lead into the next paragraph, keeping your philanthropic life separate from work. It doesn't lead into that at all. So yeah, I just took it out there. Then the next paragraph, I went ahead and I took out the first sentence again, like I did in another paragraph. It was a lead-in sentence, and it didn't add anything or take it away whenever I took it out. So you are more likely to have other commitments in your life than just your career. I feel like that is a much more interesting and relatable first sentence than what was there before. So each week, okay, the next thing that I changed was some rewording things in there. says, with work you are obliged to attend because you receive a paycheck, of course. So I changed that sentence around. Where is it? Okay. So I changed it instead to say, you are obliged to attend work because you receive a paycheck. And then it goes into, with religion and other extracurricular activities, you are already donating your time. Then I changed, some of that time could be donated to philanthropic interests. So instead of what he had, why not delegate some of that time to philanthropic interests? I just went ahead and made it like a kind of attach, be a connected thought to the past sentence, donating instead of delegating. I think that is more cohesive. So then it goes into St. Peter's Church, and some of that stuff, like that's why he has a link at the bottom. That's why he has the list to St. Peter's Church, so you can learn about it yourself. And I don't think that it needed all of that information it gave. So instead of, for example, look at St. Peter's Church, I just put, for example, St. Peter's Church in Washington, Missouri. And then he had the small town church, but I took that out because you can figure that out if you go onto the website and read it. In Washington, Missouri, not only has a member-run food bank, but also encourages their members to help serve meals at the church. But what he had was serve meals every Saturday night at the church to the less fortunate in the community. It's enough that they serve meals. I feel like it makes it a little bit too long to add every Saturday night. Like, if you're really interested in learning more, you can read about it in the link. That's the reason it's there. So that's why I took out some of those details. Okay, so then he didn't have this separated into another paragraph, but I thought it needed it just to separate it, to give like a little bit of resting time for the reader. In Huntsville, Alabama. So I changed that. So I took out farther down south. That's what he had in there. Farther down south. So he didn't have it split into another paragraph. So I took out farther down south, and I just capitalized N. And then, oh yeah, also going back up just a, well, never mind. Sorry, I was looking too far down. So that paragraph was pretty short. It was also the city recreational sports leagues asks their members to work as a team, not only in the field. So I changed it to, I'm going to have to go back in, I missed that, but I was going to change it to league and asks. So then in the next paragraph, well, actually at the end of that paragraph, sorry. He had, the main point with all these examples is simple. And that's very similar to the rest of his introduction sentences, so I took that out again. So, and then I changed it to how you make philanthropy a habit is up to you, rather than make it a part of your daily or weekly ritual. That again felt very kind of like forceful. So it's up to you, and that's the point he was trying to get across, but it just was a little bit hard to follow through that. Then down there. The uniqueness. Where is that? Okay, the uniqueness. There it is. So, the uniqueness of making philanthropy a frequent part of your life is that you can get deeper involved instead of being just another body to help out. So, how I changed that. The uniqueness of making philanthropy a frequent part of your life is that you can be a key asset to a philanthropy in need. And that becomes way more concise. That takes out like a lot of the wordiness of it and makes it a lot easier to read in fewer words. Then he also had, it can also become a great resume or LinkedIn booster. And I think that's important to include, but I think it's more like it can also become a great resume or LinkedIn booster, like a fun little like extra thing. So that's why I put it in parentheses, kind of like at the end there, because it doesn't really like match with the rest of the paragraph or even the article, but like, you know, I felt like it needed to be there kind of as a fun little aspect of the article. And it still has his personality, so I kind of separated it from the rest of that paragraph there. Then you can also see again, like here, it's just really hard to read the paragraphs, so that's why I added all those spaces in there. That way it would separate it a little bit, because I honestly, like, that's why I'm having such a hard time reading this and getting to the different parts of it. But anyway, the last paragraph was fine, except at the end. There it is. There. He didn't even have it split up, so I just made that a new paragraph. It was obviously the conclusion paragraph. You know, sometimes you don't need those in articles when you're writing for online. You don't obviously need a conclusion paragraph in everything, but I think it works well for this one. So that's why I left it in. So here, I changed it. I changed "you are." So, but you are doing it in a comfortable, familiar atmosphere with your coworkers, congregation, and friends. Not "you are with." I think "with" just, you know, just taking out those couple words that don't really need to be there. Okay, then the last sentence: seek out opportunities for philanthropy in the areas of your life where you are already invested in. I went ahead and I separated that. Because that didn't really like play into that paragraph very well. I thought that it more related to the list that he had provided. So that's why I separated it, and so it's kind of the introduction to his list. And then he has those linked up, so you can click on them, and they'll take you to his links that he added. But he had little black circles before, and I wish that I had a picture of it, but the little black circles added nothing to the list. It was really unappealing, so I went through and I found some more pictures that related to his list there. So, but they're still linked up, as you can see. Whenever you go over it, you can click on it. So things like that I just changed. Yeah, adding pictures. I think that really helped add another like dimension to it, because before it was like just these little black circles, and you know, it looked really unprofessional. Like he didn't really put a lot of time into the list, which, you know, maybe he didn't, but I thought it needed more than just the little black circles, so that's why I added these pictures. But yeah, the main things that I really changed, like the big things I think that made a difference in it, was the spacing and the formatting of it. Again, I changed it to heading 2. And then, you know, changing like making it a little bit more concise, easy to read, relatable by taking out some of those scenarios and kind of like you are or you want statements, taking out some of those. Other than that, it was just little things, kind of trying to make it shorter. But yeah, that's it. I will send you the original one that I have saved on Word so you can kind of see what it was beforehand. And then I already updated the NPO article on the website. And then I can also take a picture of my edits, my physical edits, and send them to you. That way you can see exactly what I did and how I changed it. There. So that's it. Thank you.